Hi, everyone. This is Ashlie Johnson with Brook Human Resource Solutions, back to share with you a little bit about a DOL ruling that could impact your employees, specifically your salaried or exempt employees. On April 23rd, the DOL issued a final ruling that substantially increases the minimum salary levels that are required for exempt employees. And that falls under the FLSA, or the Fair Labor Standards Act. So in that ruling, the threshold will change in two steps over the next 9 months. The first change, the current amount or minimum is $684 a week, which equates to $35,568 annually. So that would be their salary. If you have someone who's exempt and they are making less than that dollar amount, they are not meeting the minimum requirement of the current DOL ruling. Effective July 1st, so coming up fairly quickly, effective July 1st of 2024, that weekly number is going to change to $844 a week, which then equates to $43,888 annually. So if you have someone who currently is being paid as a salaried employee and they're not making that $43,888, you need to prepare to make changes by July 1st, or you will be in violation of the DOL ruling. The second step that they're going to take is actually even greater, and that is effective January 1st of 2025. And that bumps that weekly number from the 844 to $1,128 a week, which then equates to $58,656 per year. So there are probably a lot of folks out there that may have staff that are currently being paid salary and are being paid less than $58,000 per year. If that's the case, we need to make a plan to make changes. Also, under the ruling, they speak about the highly compensated employees. So there are rules when it comes to even those folks who make a fair bit of money. There still are rules as to how they have to be paid in order to be exempt. So the current threshold for the highly comped individuals is 107,432. And that requires them to receive a salary of at least $684 per week. And that has to be paid on a salary or fee basis. On July 1st, again, the same timeline, July 1st and January 1st. On July 1st, it's going to change to 132,964, and that bumps that to the 844. So the weekly amounts still line up. It's just that total annual compensation that is obviously different for the highly comped individuals. The January 1st number will then jump to $151,164. And that also lines up with that $1,128 per week. The DOL says that it's going to do this every 3 years. So the next time they're going to go through this process and make these changes will be July 1st, 2027. So once we get everything straightened away on these two dates, you can breathe a sigh of relief and know that you'll be compliant in this aspect, at least until then. So that's a good thing. So, when we think about this, what does all of this mean for you as an employer? What does it mean for you to have exempt employees? And then what does it mean if they're not meeting that threshold? The first thing is to confirm that your exempt employees really should be exempt. Some people just set people up as salaried because maybe that's what the employee wants, or maybe they just feel like it, or maybe they just don't want to pay overtime. There's lots of reasons why people set people up as salaried employees. But in order to actually meet the requirements, there's a test, and it's called the FLSA test. It's something that I can provide to you if you reach out to me, or you can simply Google the FLSA test, and you should be able to easily find it online. There are standards that each job description needs to meet in order to rise to the level of being exempt. And usually things like managerial duties, autonomy, being able to sort of direct the course of your day rather than being told what to do, things like that. And it varies from the different types of positions. So there's administrative, there's professional, there's technical. So there's some different categories that have different testing points that you need to meet. So that's the first thing to do to make sure they should even be exempt at all in the first place. The second thing is that if they should be, or if they meet those requirements, identify anyone on your staff who is currently paid as a salaried exempt employee and is going to fall below those thresholds on either of those dates, July 1st or January 1st. If you can clearly articulate why and are certain that the person should remain an exempt employee, you need to make plans to change their salary according to the scheduled updates. If you can't clearly define why this person should be exempt, or even if they should be exempt and you feel that that salary is not appropriate, you can always change them to a non-exempt or hourly employee. You are always able to hire someone and have them on as an employee as an hourly employee. The only caveat to that is obviously as an hourly employee, they are now subject to overtime compensation, usually a time and a half, depending on the state that you're in. So it's really important that you're making sure that it's appropriate for them to be exempt. And then, secondly, that they're meeting that minimum threshold and that you are paying them appropriately. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 608-620-8017. You can find me at brookehrs.com. Thank you, Dairy Business. I always appreciate your time and your attention. And I hope this has been helpful to kind of clarify some of the scariness about this new ruling. Take care, everyone. Thanks again.